Kill away.
Yo, tell me why Brandon was staring at ham that looked like vagina on Instagram, and he didn't realize it looked like vagina until he read the caption. But he was just staring at it because he was
so oblivious.
You knew what you were doing.
Yo, I honestly didn't. I'm starving. I'm delirious.
vagina meat.
I was sitting there looking at the post like, damn, yo, that ham look undercooked. And then I was looking at the just everything else. Like the greens didn't look like greens. The mac and cheese looked mad struggle. I was like, I would never eat this plate. And then when I got to the comment, I was like, who posted this? And then when I got to the comment, it's like, okay, that's what I was looking at.
I gotta see this picture.
Yeah, it's not. You're not really missing anything.
It sounds like I'm missing a lot.
Well,
Look at you with your haircut. Who you trying to look good for?
Well, you know.
The ladies that watch Grassroots.
he said it was a brand. He said I'm a brand.
It was a brand. Man, you just trying to look good now that they can see you for the ladies. That's all you're doing.
I'm a clean cut guy. Always have been.
Don't. All right.
Oh wait, hold on. And you got the skinny
sideburns.
Oh my God.
I'm not even gonna front. I wanted my sideburn sticker. But it was an emotional moment, man. Cutting off my beard, man.
Well, on that note, I'm Erin Ashley Simon.
I'm Brandon Killabh.
I'm Regular Nas.
I'm Wilson.
Yo, where your shades at?
Yeah, where your shades at?
I forgot 'em.
You OD regular now. And you wearing a Knicks beanie. Trifling.
I forgot it. I forgot my shades. So now everybody can see me.
So now he's not himself today.
He's not himself today. I don't even know who this guy. He didn't even give an alias, nothing.
Nah.
He doesn't have his.
Take this Snickers because you're not like yourself.
That's crazy.
He feels like Chuck Summers. Without his glasses, like he's afraid to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Who's Chuck Summers?
Charlie Summers. Charles Summers.
Who is it?
Cyclops.
It's
Scott
Summers.
Oh, he feels like Scott Summers.
Thank you.
I was gonna let
He
you.
tried me. He thought he had me. He didn't get the reference. He's an idiot.
Oh my gosh. Well, while we're bantering, hit the notification
This guy's in a
button.
bad mood.
Also, sign up for our newsletter because we actually have an event coming up fairly soon. So you'll be the first to find out what that event is. It's going to be spectacular. We're also working on our next live show. So that's the only way that you can find out. Just kidding. You'll find out first by joining our group chat, which is the link in the description, as well as our newsletter, which the link is in the description.
Charles.
Tell them to hit the notification.
I already did. Yo, you are still fucking on that vagina ham. But let's talk about some other weird stuff. Why are people suntanning their buttholes? Like, people need to be more reckless. We gotta control them.
All jokes
It's not
aside,
reckless at all. I can give you the science behind it.
You gonna spread your butt cheeks open?
First,
Lights right there.
I just want to preference.
That's not sunlight.
I just want to preference by saying I didn't choose this topic. I looked at the docket today and said, "Wait, we're talking about this."
Well,
I was reluctant until I saw your notes to the document that said that you would provide scientific information to back this.
Well, you gotta think about it. Taking sunlight directly into the butthole. You ever hear of like consuming alcohol through the butthole?
No.
You haven't.
No.
Never heard that.
It actually makes the alcohol more potent and it hits you faster. Kids today, they soak tampons in alcohol, shove it up their butthole so they can get drunk at school.
What kind of kids do you know?
And women
I'm just
Hey, yo.
I'm just saying. So think about it.
Hold on. I don't want to think about it.
Hold on.
Cool.
So alcohol can have that effect.
I'm even worried that you know this. Like, I have a lot going. There's a lot happening right now.
Well, imagine sunlight seeping into the anal walls.
What?
It's powerful shit. That's number one. Number two, in order to even get the sunlight in there, you got to go into a yoga pose. Yoga poses have been known to bring on stages of euphoria.
Hey, yo, check this out. I'll align with you there. This is a quick plug, and we didn't even talk about this. Watch the documentary on Netflix, and this isn't an ad. Bikram. Sorry. Thanks, Chris. I love you, Chris. Bikram. That documentary on Bikram is some sick shit. But
what is that?
Bikram. Long story short, Bikram is a gentleman from India who came up with this air quote tranquility way of doing yoga. His guru, air quote guru, is the person that taught him this, and he went on to then bring it to the United States and opened up a whole bunch of different yoga studios that are still functioning today. The reason why this documentary is such a big thing is because you then later find out in the documentary that he was accused of rape and all different types of sexual misconduct in the thing. But I digress from that because I don't want to get off the topic.
Back to buttholes.
Yeah.
So wait, let me add context because we didn't add context. So basically with this butthole tanning, in a mere 30 seconds of sunlight on your butthole, you'll receive more energy from this electric node than you would in an entire day being outside with your clothes on, says an influencer who goes by Raw of Earth. 30 seconds of direct sunlight injection to the anal orifice. Hold on. To the anal orifices is equivalent to being outside in the sun. There's no evidence that sunbathing in this way has any effect on physical well-being, according to Dr. Diana of UK-based online doctor service Doctor4You tells insiders. So some people feel like it brings them light and joy. I do know that light actually can help. It's a form of treatment. But not only that, it's a form of treatment for those who go through seasonal depression. They actually have these specific lights that for the purpose of emitting the same UVs as sunlight to help with that. So I do know that like sunlight can help and affect people's moods and stuff like that.
Oh,
but
it definitely does.
I don't know if getting it up the butthole is an effective
Of course it
way.
does.
Yo,
There's no scientific proof.
It's the star that gave us all light.
So
Imagine it supercharging your butthole.
I need my sunglasses.
Why would you supercharge your butthole?
Pure energy.
What are you going to use your butthole for if you're
Would you do it?
supercharging it?
Would you do it?
Where am I at? Am I on vacay?
Yo,
what's going on here?
Keeping it a buck. I had Nas doing this. I'm honestly really, really shocked that he is against this.
You really had me doing this? This is ridiculous.
I can see that.
Fucking influencer named Rob.
I can see that.
I'm gonna believe this idiot because he knows that he smoked. You know what?
Yo,
Go on, Nas. Go on. Here, you got it. You got the stage.
I'm getting agitated.
Yo, can we go
It's
buy him
like
some shades from like
stupid
Walmart
idiots,
or something?
Influencers.
He's still
Rob,
going.
Rob knows because how does Rob know?
He's
What did
in
he
the show by
study in
himself
school?
right now.
What did Rob study in school? What did this idiot study in school?
He's
Has
so
everybody there butt naked with their legs spread open? If you say, yo, I like being naked, I like being naked, just say that. He's an idiot.
Well, he could be an idiot, but don't you think we should at least, put some research behind it?
Shine some light on it.
He got an experiment. There you go.
He didn't do any research.
Spread the truth.
There you go.
Spread the truth wide open.
Like an idiot. Rob the influencer. Rob the influencer says that 30 seconds of sunlight on your butthole
This
gives you
little
more
light
vitamin
of
D.
mine.
How does Rob know? He skipped bio
I'm
101.
gonna let it
How does
shine.
Rob know?
First of all, I have a quick question too. Does it matter how far you have to spread your butt cheeks?
You need to relax. Both of y'all need
it's
to
a serious
relax.
question.
I don't know what's happening. Y'all need
All
to
I
relax.
know is the way that they're positioned. They're
Fam,
in the photo.
you won't just relax.
Like, doesn't matter how much you have to open it in order to receive the sunlight beam that's supposed to enter the orifices.
It's like, Kyle, this is what happens when people you take social media, right? And you just start taking everything for gold. Rob the influencer.
That's the greatest thing.
That's his word. His word is the holy grail now. Rob the influencer. He's a goddamn idiot.
He's a pioneer.
He's a goddamn idiot.
I don't know.
The rest of the idiots out there with their assholes open in the sun.
Wow. Okay.
Let me these are
find
socialists.
something else.
These are socialists.
Try it.
What?
Try it.
No, you try it.
I might.
How you gonna get sunlight in the basement, Wilson?
But why do you guys think that, like, first of all, I always wonder, like, how do these things even come about? Like, how did someone someone took the time to literally just lay down with the sunlight and say, you know
they were
what?
high.
I'm getting a lack in vitamin D. Let me try to spread my butt cheeks. And I would be like, who even starts this stuff?
On some real shit, I need to know the guy that invented
Because they
this.
think
I
like
have
they think
so
like
many
Wilson.
questions.
They were thinking like Wilson. Well, if alcohol can get me drunker through my anus and my rectum.
Yeah, now looking at you,
That's
you
science.
definitely did it. You've done it before.
And the only reason that is because there's no filter. It's a filtering system when you drink alcohol. That's why your liver is there.
My other thing is, what's the point of that? The point of alcohol is to indulge in it and taste the alcohol. No,
You can't.
Well, here goes what you could do in the privacy of your own home. When you wake up and that sun is just beaming through your window with the rays of Ra, you could go into a downward facing dog and try it.
No.
It's 30 seconds.
No, that's
You've definitely done it. I've
never done it.
I'm convinced you've done it.
I've never done it, but
Do you think it would have been as popular?
If I'm by myself, it's just me and the sun. I've never done it.
I don't care what anybody says.
I've never done it.
He tested before he got here.
Tested it.
I've never done it.
No one would have a scientific explanation to back that up. No one would just happen to have a position to do it when the sun is
You
shining.
know what it is? You know what it is? You know what it is? I'm into quick fixes, and this sounds free. If it's gonna give me energy
For free.
throughout the day,
Okay. You're cost
But do we really think that this thing would be an actual thing if like a black person did it? Like,
What do you mean? Like if someone, like if
like,
someone
do you think
black
that, like, do you think
recommended
it would have gone as?
You think they don't
you
do
think
that?
it would have been picked up if like a Latin or black person said this? Like, hey,
This has nothing to do with race.
no, I'm
It
not
has to.
saying it has anything to do with race, but it got picked up heavily. I said, how do you think people would respond to it if someone who is black or Latin did it? Do you feel like they would still the
This-
same? Yeah, if Ronnie from Harlem did this,
you're cranky.
Yo.
today.
Yeah, he is really. Let me
You're
move over
cranky
this
today.
way.
yo,
Really cranky.
Yeah. Anybody got some
Yeah,
sunglasses?
please, yo, Chris, go
Get
to
the baby's
Walmart
bottle.
and get a. I will chip in to
yo,
give him
Nas,
shades.
are you good? Are you on like that golden?
Word.
I was, another guy out there spreading his feelings around for no reason. Says, who asked you about this Mac Miller apology? Huh, Chris? Did anybody ask for that? No, but
Let's-
you took it
hold
upon
on.
yourself
Wait,
to go on Instagram and you
wait.
start confessing all this other BS. And now all of a sudden, hey, I don't care, nobody. Who cares what? Who's the person that went at him?
Nas, who hurt you?
Whining something.
someone definitely hurt
Oh my
him.
God, these
What
rappers
is
make
wrong
me
with him?
angry.
Someone
bro.
definitely heard him.
Brandon, can you two switch seats?
Yeah, do you want your seat back? Like
This is ridiculous, man.
I think it's
All
that
right,
chair.
well, let's add context.
Yo,
If-
he's never sitting in that chair ever again.
let's add some
and I'm bringing
context.
shades in my car moving forward.
Long story short, GoLink had like a very passive aggressive rant, essentially claiming that the Divine Feminine, Mac Miller's album, was inspired by one of his, and that they didn't talk. And then he backtracked, and then he kind of did like a backhand compliment, but then not really. And then Anderson .Paak came out and was like, on some like, well, did you get a plaque for that project?
Yeah, that was shade.
That was nice shade.
That was shade.
And then on top of that, when he was on tour in Germany, he went on a negative rant because Meek Mill, 21 Savage, Streamfill, and YBN Cordae got Rap Album of the Year for the Grammys, and he got really upset for that. That kind of goes back to our conversation. People got to stop holding so much weight to these award shows. Like, just because you don't win an award does not mean you're trash. There's so many icons that haven't won an award.
I say it time and time again. People hold too much stake into award shows.
And also, can we really keep it a buck? Can we keep it a buck?
Always.
Can we? Okay. Nas is fucking. No, Nas is ready.
I wanted
Listen,
a stack today, boys.
Can we just say that Crew? The reason why Crew is so fire is because of Brent.
100%.
It's because of Brent. That Brent on the chorus, hands down.
A close second, Shot Glizzy's verse.
Who's crew?
The song.
The
That's
song
his
Crew?
song that like popped off. GoLink's song that popped off. It's Crew. Brent Faiyaz. And then
Oh,
and then
okay,
Shy
okay.
Glizzy's on it too. But that song popped off. In my opinion, that shit was hard because of Brent.
Brent takes that record to the next level. If
Yes,
you
he did.
If you take that hook off and the melody off, I don't know if that record is
You
what
could
it
really
is
get
today.
rid of Shy
that's not-
Glizzy,
then
and
that's not
that
the
could have been a
song,
Brent
Brandon.
song.
That's a different song, Brandon. If you take the hook and the melody off, that's not the same song, Brandon. So you're right, it doesn't pop.
What is your AKA?
What's happening right now?
Because you just came out as regular Nas. Who's this guy?
Yeah.
No,
like-
it's because he's like Scott. He took his glasses off and he's just
He's just
firing away.
murdering everybody.
Yeah, do you feel exposed or something? Like, are you okay?
Do you
Like,
need
Shout out
more
to everybody
sunlight in
in
your butthole,
Uzbekistan.
Nas?
Shout out to the people of Uzbekistan.
I think it's the Knicks hat.
all right, shout out to everyone in Kazakhstan.
got bad juju.
It's a lack of shade.
You want to shout out people? Shout out everyone in Kazakhstan.
Yeah, that's shout out, man. Uzbekistan. Somebody said like, yo, they were listening to our podcast in Charleston, South Carolina. And the guy was from Uzbekistan. Shout out to all
Okay,
Uzbekis.
Nas, we're gonna hold off on this conversation with Link. What is your like? What's
Yeah,
going
like,
on with you today? Like, do you
at all.
need?
I need
do
to
you
know.
Do you need a hug? Do you need a
No.
shoulder?
Nope.
Do you
I
need
give you a hug.
Do you need to fight
Please don't.
someone? Do you
Please
what do you
don't.
need?
Hugs are
Because
nice.
I feel like as your friends, we need to like give you if you need to go off on a rant, by all means.
Yeah, I
go
got
ahead.
some shades in the car.
No, you don't.
I do have shades in the car.
I've been in your car. You don't.
You want to bet money?
I looked around.
Can we bet 20? So you're rummaging through my car, my privacy in my car. You're rummaging through.
That's what friends do.
All right, Nas. Nas, what are your thoughts on the Gold Link Instagram post and then just the rants in general that he had?
I don't care. Like most of America. Who asked you? Did anybody ask? Like, he must have had a conversation with his friends about Mac Miller, and they say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go on Instagram, and because everybody needs to know what I think.
Now, hold on.
Nobody asked.
Keep in mind, he's an artist, and he's sensitive about his shit.
Don't ever quote Erykah Badu to me. Don't you ever in your life.
It's the truth. Artists are
quote
sensitive
Erykah
about
Badu
their
to me.
music.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. I like this Nas. I like this Nas.
I don't know that I like this Nas. This Nas is a jerk.
Well, I want the people to understand something, all right?
Triggered.
I want people to understand something.
He's
When you go to
passionate.
work, and you're in your relationships, man, keep that shit to yourself. If nobody asked you, nobody really cares. Whoever's listening to this, if you're driving in your car, you're running on a treadmill,
Or watching it on YouTube.
yeah, definitely watching it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares. In the long run, nobody really cares.
Until you make them care.
You can try. But
know,
like, who asked him?
I
He's
think-
sitting there with his friends, like, you know what, E? You know what, Brandon? This is how I feel about Mac Miller. Who? And somebody goes, oh, you know what, Gold? You know what you should do? What should I do? I should put it on. You should put it on Instagram. Really? You think? You think the people care? Do you think the people care? I know they care, Gold. They love that song, Crew.
Yes.
What the fuck is wrong with him today?
He's great today. Let's just run with it. Let's just roll with it.
Roll
That's
with
what
the
happens.
punches.
He's great today.
All right.
I'm a firm believer that like if you have beef with someone who passed, you need to find it within yourself to forgive, not necessarily for that person, but for yourself, because this is the perfect example of what happens when you have bitterness inside of you for whatever reason, and you're still holding on to it. The only forgiveness, and I keep telling people because they're like, oh, well, why do I have to forgive it? Forgiveness is more so for yourself, to not hold
word.
on to grudges, because holding on to negativity, holding on to that emotion only affects you. It doesn't affect anyone else. And clearly it's affecting him heavily because he's upset.
Yeah.
And this is and also I just don't believe in the whole thing of like dude, he's dead. You should have had the conversation with him before. And I'm not trying to say he's dead in like in a insensitive way. But it's like if you had beef, why are you bringing it out now where he can't even defend himself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just whack because, he was calling him like a thief and all this other shit. Like,
That's the one thing I didn't like. Me keeping it a buck, I'm never surprised that artists do this. Artists often will always feel snubbed. We just saw this with Ari Lennox. We're now seeing it with Brent. You're going to continue to see this, right?
Gold Link.
Sorry. And that's why I preference.
Leave Brent alone.
I know.
Brent.
I know.
Leave Brent Fives alone.
Yeah, no, sorry. I don't even know where that came from. But the reason why I did reference Erykah Badu is really for that. Artists are very sensitive about their shit. Like, their music for them is a form of expression and is a way for them to get their message across and out there. So traditionally, that's why. Now, I'm inclined to roll with Nas because, no one asked. Like, fam, you had a great record, you had a great run. I think that record did what it was supposed to do, whether it got a Grammy or whether it didn't. And now thinking about it, when Shaq Glizzy was on our show, didn't they get nominated for a fucking Grammy? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like
that song was like the song at the time.
Yeah, like I get it, but at the same time I don't get it. Y'all got nominated for a Grammy. That's still like getting a Grammy. I don't think people understand that. That still holds weight.
People gotta stop worrying about everyone else and just worry about yourself. Because like when you start focusing on what everyone else does or did, like you just end up in this deep rabbit hole.
And now you start looking crazy. You start looking crazy.
Yeah.
You start looking like the crybaby, the guy that didn't get the ice cream.
So sad.
Nas is fucking carrying us today.
Yeah.
He's carrying us.
He is on his back.
Where was this Nas before?
Wait, should we?
Where was this Nas on the live show?
Yo, word. Should we give him the shades back? Like, I don't know if we should give him the shades
We
back.
should give him 30 seconds of sun.
Word. Yo, new segment, 30 seconds of sun for you. So coming in, you're gonna take the shades off just for 30 seconds. That's fire.
Oh, you're saying I'm an asshole? I get it now.
30 seconds of but that's a good pun. 30 seconds of sun, like you're gonna sun somebody.
I get
Look
it.
at that.
I'm an asshole. I get it, guys.
There you go.
You are.
Yeah, so-
Nas, where have you been? All of our friends are assholes.
Listen, you're an asshole, and we're trying to shine some light on it. See what I did there?
trying to spread the truth.
No? Yo, this is a tough crowd, man. Y'all don't be feeling me. All right, forget it, man. Forget it.
What homeless
when
guy
is
did
a
you steal
point-
that sweater from?
Don't talk about my sweater.
All right, back on track. So when,
Brandon's tight.
That wasn't very nice.
Brandon's tight.
That hurt my feelings. That hurt my feelings. Second of all, this is from Zara.
Damn, why are they?
It's from Zara.
Everybody's
Where is
triggered
your-
today.
We're gonna get Brandon going
It's,
today.
No, you won't. No, you
I'm
won't.
fired up.
trigger
I'm gonna get you
side.
fired
I
up.
bet you won't.
You're triggered. That's
No,
the
I'm
trigger
not.
side.
I'm not.
I'm gonna get you fired
I'm
up
cool.
today.
He's trying to trigger me.
When are people going, like, especially when it comes to artists, right? Like, when are there's a fine line, right? Because especially when they're management and like the label and stuff like that. No, let me finish what I'm saying.
sorry, I
Jeez,
know,
are you
sorry.
still thinking about buttholes? Jeez.
Oh my God.
Like, when do you get to a point where, like, for artists, they need to get someone to tell them, don't do this?
Yo, but see, that's
Like, when are we get to the point
that's
where
the
they
thing.
realize? Like,
No.
I understand you want them to be authentic and be themselves and original, but there's
We
a fine
passed
line.
That point. We passed that point. We've been covering this. How many episodes have we all said, yo, people need to work on artist development. A&Rs need to come back. People need to work on media training. People need to do X, Y, and Z. All of that, we've been talking about this. It's been foreshadowing for us. I don't think it's getting any easier, and I think it's becoming more and more apparent that labels are now okay with these public statements being made. They're okay with these outlandish things happening. Like it's now being
think about
merged
it.
into a part of the marketing rollout
Well,
for
think about
artists.
it. We're talking about him right now.
But that's my point. That's my point.
You know what I'm saying?
It's job well done.
Honestly, until you started singing that song, I didn't know who he was. I was watching the rants. I didn't know who he was.
No?
No. That's
Well,
why,
I'm not really
like when he was
surprised.
on stage, like talking about all those other artists, like getting nominated and whatnot. He was like, and all this other shit. I'm like,
Do his voice.
ah.
He didn't know what to do with that noise.
I didn't even know where to go. He said, do his voice, and then he just cried.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
But yeah, no, I didn't understand where that energy and animosity was coming from. You know what I'm saying?
Is it a fair statement or question to ask and say maybe it's hate?
I never saw Brandon riding around playing his music on Instagram. So
No, I did.
No, when he came out, no, Brandon,
Oh,
he
he
put
cut
it on.
cut the
yeah.
check?
Yeah, this is
they-
essential Nas. He knows.
Hold on. No checks were cut. No checks
yo,
were
Brandon stayed taking payola for his Instagram stories.
Yeah.
I need you to relax.
I'm about to get an
That's
ad
why.
on
That's
Brandon.
why every.
Right?
That's why
Big
every
Bang
photo he
Brandon.
look at the camera because his eyes is on the money.
E.
Oh yeah,
What's the
exactly.
what's the next topic?
Brandon's riding, counting them stacks.
Let me go to the next topic.
Bank Brandon.
Yeah, no, I know.
Big bang.
Gabrielle Union fired
Bankroll Brandon.
from America's Got Talent.
Okay.
Racks
Is
on
the
racks on
firing
racks.
of Gabrielle Union fair? I'm trying to get into Gabrielle Union.
Dwayne Wade is there.
Oh, apologize to D Wade right now.
Into that one.
Apologize.
Apologize right now.
Apologize, Brandon. Be a man.
Dwayne Wade to give you a wedgie.
Yo, he
Hey,
dead.
family human, Brandon.
Who thinks
dare
Dwayne?
you?
Who thinks Dwayne Wade would wash Brandon?
He would watch me.
quick.
He would watch me.
Everyone just picked up on
He
him.
would watch me. Dwayne Wade is actually a really nice person, by the way.
Oh, okay, he
Yeah.
can still
He
watch
is.
you.
So I don't. I'm not trying. I'm not trying
I
to
don't
do
know.
that.
You
I
just
think
said-
Brandon knows
you
how to
just said,
box.
let's
Brandon to
get
get in
into
his
it.
box.
I was-
stance.
Yeah.
Let's just get into it.
I was
Yeah, right,
speaking
yeah.
figuratively.
Oh,
I was
okay.
Speaking figuratively.
Still didn't apologize, D Wade.
I did apologize.
If you're out there
I don't want any problems.
saying
with
that you apologize,
Why
it's
are
an
you-
apology. That's not an apology.
Why are you trying to?
Say I'm sorry, D Wade.
Come on,
Now,
man.
see,
I don't want to have to jump in.
I was gonna give you some good. Somebody gave me a message to give to you. I don't know if I want to share it now.
Is it from Joe?
Take
I
responsibility.
don't know if I want to share it now.
Is it
I don't
from
know if I want
Joe?
to share it now. I don't know.
Take responsibility.
I'm feeling attacked.
Take
Okay.
responsibility.
It is from Joe.
Oh,
It is from Joe.
wait, hold on. You said it was advice or a compliment?
Take it as you will.
It's an insult.
And I quote.
I can feel it. I can feel it.
And I quote, "You guys did an amazing job. I'm proud of you. Tell Wilson I heard his response. He is welcome at the pool party. That there is no
Oh,
issues. But
Christmas come early.
Wait.
but he was trashed that night. He has since listened and he gets it. He understands. So you." glass half full.
Regular Nas, that's again.
It's not bad. You're still
Regular
Listen,
Nas.
I'm invited to the pool party.
That's what I'm saying. We could go together. We could go
Hey,
together.
he's like,
We could
that's
go
all
I'm
together.
gonna have like sunscreen on my nose.
Nas.
Floaties.
Wait, Nas still hasn't been invited.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Not invited.
Nas is still not invited.
Yo, you're my plus one, yo.
No, not. No.
You're my plus
Don't
one.
lie to me. I know you have a brother.
Nas, when they do the ratio, I will be the woman ratio for
Yeah,
you. So
yeah,
you're
man.
okay.
I got you. I got
Just
you.
please,
I can see it in your eyes. You're lying.
Nas,
Just
don't
please
worry.
wear your shades when we go.
I can see it in Brandon's eyes. Brandon's like, yo, my brother's definitely coming.
Nas,
Yo, the funny thing is, what you said, I was like, oh shit, my brother.
Nas, I'll take pictures from the upper echelon of podcast.
Yo,
Okay.
he's on a whole new level since he can show his face.
Yeah,
Have y'all
yeah.
peeped that?
Yo,
His energy is different.
I've already got
energy
invited to
has
the pool
been-
party of the year. I just keep on leveling up.
So he wanted me to give you that message last
man.
night. That is no beef.
Thank you,
He
Joe.
said you just sucked. Everyone has a bad night, but he enjoys the show.
I want to disagree, but I don't want to get my invite rescinded.
Rescinded, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't if I were you.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's fine.
I'm good. I can take one.
It's the
one
small.
bad night.
It's the small victories in life.
One
You know
bad
what's
night.
also pretty funny? During when everyone saw you for the first time, they said, "Oh, that's Wilson."
Yeah.
Yo, they wanted me to be ugly so bad.
Yeah, and they
They wanted me to be ugly
Yeah.
so bad. This one dude was like, "Oh, corny Wilson finally." Corny. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. You know what you wanted to say, but you couldn't say it. I forgot his name. I was going to shout him out, too.
You ain't real. You're
I'm
supposed to
about
shout
to
him
say,
out.
go find him.
Yeah.
Shout him out.
I've been invited to Joe's pool party. The price just went up.
He said no free
It's
shout.
skyrocketed now, boy.
Yeah, but even like the folks in our group chat, like shout out to our group chat, by the way.
Word.
Even people, they were like, "Wow, so that's Wilson."
Yeah.
I don't know if that was like an excited thing or underwhelming thing.
No, I think
Like-
they were confused. A
Like
lot of
when
people.
they were like, "Wait, that's him."
Yeah, a lot of people thought you were short and fat and thought you were white. A lot of people hit me and thought that.
1 for 3.
They thought he was white.
Yeah.
With the stuff he was saying.
I was thrown by that. Most people that I spoke to or that messaged me or whatever was like, yo, I really thought that Wilson was white.
They thought I was white.
Yeah.
I said the N-word.
But
That's what I was gonna
how
say.
many
We would
times?
not have allowed that.
for me, that's where I was confused.
I
was
said the
like,
N-word by accident this podcast. We're going to have to bleep that.
I know. At minute marker, I already have it. But yeah, no. My thing is, I think, like I said, I think it's good. Like, at least people got to see that it was really you, and you're just living your authentic, true self. I mean, as you know,
man.
wonky as that may be.
I'm just I'm walking.
Yo,
I'm just happy now.
don't ever call me wonky. You're
wonky.
Ever.
Yeah, I'm
You're
just
walking.
happy now that all the smoke we got is now gonna go straight
I know.
to
That's
him.
listen.
I'm like wafting it
I
over
am
to
happy.
him. Take
I'm
the smoke.
happy.
I'll take it.
And y'all, and the great thing is y'all got like big smoke. Like we get smoke, right? But y'all
Yeah.
got dissed.
Yeah.
like it's got, but we rode
all
together.
good.
We rode together though.
It's all good.
Like think about it. This could have went left. You walked in here thinking we wasn't gonna side with you,
I did not think so.
which is that hurt my feelings, by the way.
I appreciate you, man.
And on
got
top,
dissed?
huh?
I got this.
He got
I got
dissed.
dissed.
Oh yeah, everybody knew that one.
But I said we. I said we as a team, we got this. You know what I'm saying? We band together, band of brothers. We got this together, and we weathered
Yeah.
the storm. And now look, you're going to the fucking pool party, my friend.
I know. You know, I was going to come in this week with merch, Wilson merch. I was going to have Joe's quotes on there. It was going to say, Wilson, fourth mic. Be careful with him. Quotations.
Yo.
Yo, that's the
Be
merch.
careful with him. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. All right, let's get back on track. They don't care about this shit.
I think they do.
They don't care. Hold on, let me get back to my
Gabrielle
document.
It's
Union.
Gabrielle Union.
Yes, thank
and Jay Leno, the Chin.
The chin.
That's his name. His nickname is
Oh,
Jay
yeah.
the Chin Leno.
Didn't they? Was it a Celebrity Deathmatch? Was he in that? And they had like his chin like all the way out there.
Because he has a cartoonishly long chin.
Yeah, he really does. So
Crimson. Whoa.
But
Crimson chin.
he made a joke about Koreans, Asians, and it's very derogatory.
It's not the first time either.
And about them Koreans specifically eating dogs. And Gabrielle Union didn't stand for it. She did more than Cap, Wilson.
We can go into that if you want.
Wait, hold on.
no.
Wait. Let's add more context. Let's add more context.
She wasn't the only person that got fired that day.
Okay, well.
Juliana?
No, she. Oh, okay.
Juliana, right?
Juliana.
Bunch of public school kids.
All right, hold on. Let me add context. All right, so during her 1-year tenure on America's Got Talent, Union came forward to NBC executives to address a series of alleged complaints, including Simon Cowell's indoor smoking habit, Leno's racist joke against Asian culture, racially charged inappropriate remarks about her hair, and more. Gabrielle Union and Julianne. Julianne.
Hogue?
Wait, her name is Julianne Ho?
No, Hogue.
Hogue or Ho?
Hogue. It's Hogue.
All right, well,
I can't hear.
they
Hold on. No, this is
both
serious.
were released.
What's happening?
They both were released for this
Hogue,
upcoming
okay.
season,
Like
but
Hogan.
Julianne addressed the media and said she did not have a negative experience on it. While preparing for the show with Union and Hogue, Leno walked past a painting of one of the show's judges. Yo, Chris, you highlighting, it's tripping me out
That's
right now.
what happened to me last week.
Highlight, Chris.
That's what
Leno
I was-
walked past a painting of one of the show's judges and executive producer Simon Cowell surrounded by his dogs. Leno, 69, I don't know why they put the age there, joked that Cowell looked at the dogs like they were, quote, on the menu at a Korean restaurant, unquote. Jay Leno made previous comments in 2002 Olympics joking that a Korean figure skater would eat their dog, and he was sued in a class action lawsuit by 50,000 Koreans demanding an apology.
Yikes. First off, I just want to say that is what happened last week when I was trying to read the word. That's why I was like, yo, Chris is doing something when he's highlighting the thing.
It was like,
it's trippy. But, so here's my question, and not even being, well, yeah, I'll say being ignorant, but obviously still having some sort of information on Jay Leno. Jay Leno is, in fact, viewed as a comedian, no?
Yes. That's how he started out.
There you go.
Right. So, I guess my question is, was this said in a comedic fashion or in a comedic platform that warranted this?
No. It was that he was walking through the hallway, saw opportunity for a joke.
Yeah.
Took it. Gabrielle Union didn't stand for it.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, it was very low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Chris, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, hold on.
No, I'm not. No.
Wow, Erin. Wow.
He made comments on Asian culture. We just said it, Chris.
Report Erin to HR. Michaela?
Yo, Michaela really is HR. Michaela, you're HR.
Michaela, do something about this.
Michaela, did I not just say Asian culture?
Yeah, that's
Chris
what I
is
thought.
Asian. Anytime we say Asian culture, Chris is like, I'm not Korean. I'm not this. Anytime we have topics, when it's a women thing, I say something.
On the
if
low,
it's
we have
anything,
disrespected Chris on the show. We've
Chris
called
was like,
him
yo,
Asian. We've called him
yeah.
Japanese.
he is Asian. Like, I'm not
He
gonna.
is
Like,
Asian.
what do you want me to
Well,
say?
He's an
No?
Asian American.
I know. But yeah, from an Asian perspective, I guess.
Yeah, Chris, you gotta speak for all.
Okay. All right.
That's
you two
racist.
apologize to Chris right now.
I'm not.
Why am
Apologize
I
to
gonna-
Chris.
And
right
Dwayne
now.
Wade, you still haven't.
How am I going to
You still haven't said sorry.
Why would I apologize if
I'm not trying to be offensive.
I'm getting a perspective from Chris? If we're going
Yeah.
to talk about,
He's
we're not
first.
Asian, so we need to get
He
perspective.
is
from
I'm
Asian.
him.
1% Filipino.
Especially when it comes to bro.
I am.
Keep your 23andMe over there.
I am.
Especially when we're talking about racism, stereotypes, etc. I don't think it's like
That was bad.
it's important. It's important for us to, like, we can't speak on the stereotypes or racism that comes with Asian culture. We can't. We're black. So if we're gonna have this conversation, we need to have input
I agree.
from someone who's Asian. And no, I did not point at you because he said Korean. It was Asian culture. All right, Chris?
I get it.
All right.
I'm just saying, I don't know how to speak from a Korean perspective.
It's not-
He specifically mentioned.
Well, give him the mic. so
But he
Chris,
also
can you
okay,
give
then
us some
say something,
Can you
Chris.
give us some
Dang.
information?
All right, so I'm gonna preface this by saying I am Chinese and Vietnamese. All right.
Well, let's put in those terms.
but,
Let's say
no,
that
but
it-
you know,
I didn't
growing
know
up,
you were also
you do
Vietnamese.
get the dog eating jokes growing up, whatever.
Yeah.
But from perspective, I applaud Gabrielle Union for standing up for this, and I don't know. Outside of that, that's all I can really say because like I don't know because there is a history of eating dogs in Korean. I mean
Yeah.
that is embedded in their history, and they have condemned that and they have changed that. But
Okay.
I mean, outside of that, I can't really speak to the history on that because like I'm not knowledgeable on it.
yeah.
No, but what about hold on. Bring it back to him. What about just like overall, when we talk about stereotypes and even just racism, right? Of course, there are the certain stereotypes that Black people get, right? Black men is like, oh, at nighttime they're scary, right? Black women, loud, obnoxious, etc. Have you personally throughout your
These are all real stereotypes.
First of all, Nas is the one that like popped off, like crossing his
he
leg.
did.
All right, Miss Daisy. All right, so
I don't know what's happening today.
Chris, like from your personal experience, right? Because if I think it's always important for us to talk from experience as well.
Yeah.
Because we cannot, especially with this conversation, we can't sit here and talk from an Asian culture perspective.
Yeah.
But for you, for growing up, do you ever encounter certain stereotypes?
Oh yeah. I mean, like I said, you do get the dog eating jokes. You do get the good at math, whatever. Like, you know, all those stereotypes.
Were you good at math?
Yeah, I wanted to ask him so bad.
Yeah, ironically, I did score pretty high on the SATs, but no flex. But yeah.
I was about to say I can look at Chris and
I mean, yeah.
I'm just being honest.
I mean, my day job, you know.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I can look at Chris and tell you that he scored very high on his SATs. I can
look at him and say that.
Hold up your mic. Oh yeah, you don't have it.
because Chris carries himself a certain way and articulates himself a certain way and has a certain work ethic. It's very clear who Chris is, not just from his ethnicity, but just
thanks,
how he
Brandon.
carries
Thanks.
himself.
But are there certain
Yeah, he carries himself well.
Are there certain truths to some stereotypes?
There is. But that's where I think about the threading the needle. Like like when I went to Japan years ago, right? There were I saw a lot of crazy shit hanging up, like in the street, and I had never seen no shit
been
like
to
that.
Japan.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was really a culture shock. Like seeing like animals hanging up and it being on the menu. So that's in my brain. I understand what you're saying. My only thing is if it didn't warrant, like if it wasn't a platform where it was a bit. If it didn't, I don't understand why he would say that. That's my only thing. And I know that may sound sensitive, but I just don't understand the point. Like, why say it? And I do understand that comics often do in real life try out bits just to see how it would impact people. I
You
get
just
that.
making a joke.
See now, my whole entire thing with this is, if we look back on her entire career, she's never made like a white person joke or anything like that.
Well, I don't know.
Black people make fun of white people food all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, not publicly. I mean,
Yes, publicly.
but
No,
black people-
I'm answering. God damn it, you all. I'm answering your question before
She
in
didn't even say
terms
y'all.
of
She said you all.
in terms of has she made any comments, and I said not publicly that we know of.
Yeah, I've never seen it. The only thing, her husband just came out not her husband, Serena Williams' husband, which I thought was really, really cool. The whole, I just remembered I discovered seasoning 3 years ago or some shit like that. Y'all saw that post? It was pretty funny.
Serena Williams looks like she can't cook. If I'm just going off. If I'm just taking a
She'll pay
guess.
someone to cook.
She probably doesn't
Yeah.
cook. She probably doesn't.
Why is she gonna cook? She's one of the greatest athletes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why
I'm
would
not
she
gonna
have
cook.
time to cook?
I'm not gonna cook.
And if she cooks, it's trash.
She
Like
probably
it's just
got like
straight. It's
5
all
cooks
healthy.
herself.
No, she can't cook at all. I
Yeah.
guarantee you.
You don't
I ain't
think so?
Venus. No.
But why does she? Why
Her
are we?
Thanksgiving is trash.
She has a cook.
She can
Yeah,
get
I'm
a
not rolling.
top Michelin chef if she wanted to.
Well, that's my thing. She don't
What are
really
you
have to
talking
cook.
about?
Nah, for Thanksgiving
gotta-
you need the old black
The
lady
organic
with
hands.
with the hanging elbow
What?
meat.
Black people can't have Michelin stars.
I have no clue what that is.
Okay, we did. He's
I'm being
broke.
honest.
I'm broke too. I don't know what
So
that is.
those are stars. Those are stars that renowned chefs have for their restaurant. And like I think it's like 5 stars.
So
is
there's
like
a 4-star
best.
restaurant, there's a 5-star
5-star.
restaurant, there's a 5-star hotel.
Notice the people on the couch are ballers. Okay.
You guys have been to hotels and restaurants before. They are star rated.
Nah, not the expensive kind. Yeah. IHOP doesn't really count. IHOP doesn't. And also, stereotypes and people pick and choose. Okay, what stereotype they wanna associate with themselves. If you go to a black dude and say, "Yo, I heard you got like a baby on holding an apple." Well, hey, well you know me, dog. Got the third leg. That's a stereotype.
Oh, that's facts.
That's a stereotype. But you don't get mad if a white dude said that or a white woman says that. The black dude's not gonna get mad, right?
Well, because that's a good stereotype. It's one of our good
There's no
ones.
such thing as a good stereotype.
Also,
That's not true.
That's not true.
a good
You
stereotype.
can't pick and choose when you want to be racist or.
So what would be a good stereotype then?
I
What's an
didn't say that.
example? No. They said,
Black guys have big joints.
bankroll
what would be a
branding.
good
That's a great stereotype.
Yeah. Black guys having big joints. That's a good stereotype.
That's sexualizing black men.
Well, we're very sexual.
I'm just saying that's
No.
That's
That's
in my
feeding
book. That's
into-
not a negative.
No,
thing.
that's feeding into the narrative. That's why black men are scared. You can't be around a black dude at night because if you're a white woman, he's gonna rape you because
Nas.
he's over sexualized.
Nah, you're talking about sexualizing
Yeah,
black
what are
people.
you talking-
That just happened to you at the coffee shop.
Thank you.
Oh, Nas, you just got sexualized downstairs at the coffee shop by that by that older white lady.
Wait, what's happening
she,
right now?
she offered Nas, oh, have you ever tried oat milk?
She was asking me if I like oat milk.
There's nothing going on there?
He snitched on you.
There's nothing between y'all?
I don't know. Yeah, a counter. A counter.
Hey.
Nice.
Okay, but it's layered. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Oh well, that's a good stereotype. I got a healthy sized penis. Oh, okay. That's a stereotype. But then when you say, oh, this white woman can't be around you when you start drinking because you're gonna rape her because you're too sexualized, there's like, oh, what is that? How you think of me? All I do
Those
is
are
have
two
sex?
different things.
Yeah,
Yeah, one was a mentality, one was physical.
But no, but
Kyle,
the problem with stereotyping though is generalization. I think anytime you generalize a community or people, it's never good.
Black
It's
men are
never
great
good.
athletes.
Not all of them. I know some who are not good
but
athletes.
that's
For a majority of us.
That's not true.
I'm rolling with Wayne. I'm just saying.
No, but that also sets up.
It's a good stereotype. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it also is okay. But then, okay, if you're gonna go to that one, right?
She's
That
smarter than me.
stereotype. Let's talk about that one, right? That's also that can lead to the fact that why people look at black athletes as commodities and less as human beings because they're like they are a serving purpose is entertainment. Their serving purpose is this is what you are. You're great at being an athlete. You're great at playing basketball, and that's it. So that stereotype can actually lead to something negative.
But this is what I'm saying. This is why I'm kind of siding. I'm siding with I'm siding with Wilson really just because of the fact that it's been happening. You talk about slave trade. You talk about people being examined for their body physique and how they were able to be physical, how they were stronger.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like scientifically, that's what it is.
Yeah.
What,
Now-
that's what is. I'm missing your point.
But every
You gotta clarify.
stereotype has a negative connotation.
I
though.
agree. I just thought we were talking about what would be we were giving out, just
Look.
throwing in the hat what would be a good.
Yo,
But I think Nas and I are trying to say that like
It's not
It's
good.
not.
None
No,
of them are
no
good.
matter
No,
what, it has
the
negative
well-endowed
connotation.
joint is a good stereotype.
That's not.
That's cool.
Still has negative connotations
Would
under
you
it.
rather be well-endowed or some watermelon eating dude that can't
okay.
control
I know
himself
the
around
stereotype-
watermelon?
listen,
and
I
chicken.
can think of worse things, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a bad stereotype would be like, yo, the white guy walking down this hallway is a racist. That's a bad stereotype.
let's say
I
you're
mean,
with your
yeah,
dudes.
there's levels of
Hold on.
stereotype, but doesn't mean that it's necessarily good. It still has negative connotations tied to it.
Let's say you're with two of your boys, right?
Right.
You're the only black one. The other two are white. You
I've
guys
been in
meet
that
up with
with
a you guys meet up with a group of chicks. You guys are all chilling, kicking it, having some drinks, and the chicks are all looking at you because they think you're well endowed. That's not a great stereotype.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, hold
That's
on.
honestly
That's
what I'm
amazing.
No,
You
wait a minute.
automatically have the
No.
advantage.
Because she only wants me for my body.
Isn't that
No,
the point?
because if mentally, if that's not my headspace, if I'm saying I want a relationship, I want something more.
No, you going too deep. Fuck
No,
your
I
headspace.
know.
We
No.
talking about a
No.
good thing.
No, it's not a good thing because she only wants to use me. She doesn't care about Nazim.
Yeah.
She only cares about
Who said you
with
cared about her?
No, I'm with Nas. I'm with Nas because think about it. When you put it in the perspective of a black man, you're saying it's a good thing, but what if it's the reverse? What if it was on a black woman? The hypersexualized things, and that's what black women are being portrayed as in terms of
As what?
stereotypes. People hypersexualize black women.
Okay.
It's that whole fantasy aspect. And my thing is like, I don't like that, especially when it comes to black women. So I agree with Nas. I don't think it's right that is that hypersexualized aspect.
You think
is put on black men.
women are more sexualized than other?
Hold on. I
Yes,
just wanna-
for
I just-
sure.
Hold on. Wait.
Hypersexualized? Yes.
Hold on, one at a time,
wait,
one at a time,
second.
Brandon.
Wait, one
Wait,
second.
wait,
Wait,
one second.
I
Wait,
didn't get to speak. I just want to say something. I just want to.
More than white women?
I want to preference this by again saying we only said what would be some good things we thought would be good stereotypes.
Yeah, right. And we're rebuting that.
Yeah, we're saying that
And-
there's no good to it. It's just there's levels of severity.
And I agree. All I'm saying is tell me how it would be. Would you have?
just told you
Just
how.
listen what I'm saying. Would you rather have the polar opposite stereotype of having a small penis?
Which would be what they put on Asian men.
But that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
but Asian men still get married. White men
miss
still
it.
get
I
married.
get
No,
it.
you're missing it.
Hold on, black men could get married too.
That's what I'm
but
saying.
I'm saying he's saying what stereotype would I rather have? Then having a small penis isn't going to stop me from getting married. Now, is it?
You know,
Hold on, having a big joint would
No.
it could.
Are you?
It could.
Am I not
stop you from
clarifying?
getting married.
Nas, I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you, Nas.
Is it? Yeah, no, I want to make sure because if Wilson is not following,
I'm
then
really
that
trying
means
to understand.
You out there may not be following.
Yeah, I'm really trying to understand where you're coming from. All jokes aside.
All right. So you're saying that, let me go back to what Wilson said real quick, and I'm going to circle back to Brandon. Wilson said that white women may be more sexualized than black women, right? That's what you said, right?
I didn't say more. I'm just saying I don't think that any woman race is more sexualized than another one.
No, it's not true.
no.
I think women in general get sexualized.
In Hollywood,
Black women have historically been hypersexualized. That's why
I think
there's a
they've been
focus
abused.
on black women's butts, black women's lips, all this
chest.
stuff. They've always been sexualized. And also, black women, we're going to bring it back. They were also used for sexual pleasures. And that's why
Comfort
you have
girls.
mulattoes, they've been raped, and all this stuff.
Yeah, but that's abuse. That's not necessarily
And
a
I-
stereotype.
But
stereotypes-
sexual abuse
yeah.
can still be abuse.
Yeah, but that's not
It's
a stereotype. We're talking about stereotypes.
No, but the hypersexualized component it derives
You're
from
saying it
that.
feeds that.
It feeds into that.
That's the root.
thing.
That's
I have to think more on this.
You do, because that's the root.
I don't like
yo.
how you talk to me.
That's the root in the.
So you're saying that even though we deem that to be a good stereotype, long term that's a bad stereotype, really because it puts us in a box of performing and doing one thing.
right? Because
Okay. That makes
Brandon,
sense.
you're intelligent. Yeah, like it's like when the sportscasters, right, when they start saying like, oh, he's very articulate. It's like what?
Well,
Like,
no, but see, that's different. Like, again, that's why I was trying to give good examples. Like, that's different.
it's
Like
only
what Jinx said at the live show, where he said, yo, you are, he often used to get when he was younger, you articulate yourself well.
Yeah, but
And
that's
he
because
was like, well, how
the
was I- how did you
stereotype
think I was
is
gonna be?
you're a good
Well,
athlete.
well, that's
you're
racist,
a
though.
commodity. What Erin is saying, you're a good athlete.
Yeah.
You can pick shit up, you can put it down, you can jump high, but I don't trust you to be an accountant.
Yeah.
I don't trust you to be a surgeon. I don't trust you to be a judge. That's what a stereotype. You're looking at it short term.
I get what you're saying.
But those thoughts I don't think have to do with the stereotype. Those thoughts are just that's a racist person.
But that's where the stereotypes derive from.
You know what I'm saying? That's not because of the stereotype.
But also, okay, even right, ready? Being a great athlete. I went to Kentucky, of course, top basketball players, etc. There were even people who were like, oh, you can only date them because they're really good and they're going to be famous.
Right.
If they weren't a good basketball player, some of those families would not allow their daughters to be dating no black man.
That's called a groupie.
No, that's what did Hulk Hogan say? Hulk Hogan said,
but that-
I would rather date an N-word, a nigga that's a basketball player. At least he has money.
Yeah, but that's
Well,
not.
she was dating a
that's not a
producer.
stereotype.
Hulk Hogan is
That's
racist,
not a
too.
stereotype, though. That's a fact.
What's a fact?
If you would only allow your white daughter to date a black man who's an athlete because he has money, that's not a stereotype. He actually has money.
But also people assume
Like a stereotype is an assumption.
Yeah.
So they assume every tall black man they think they're good at sport. That's not true.
That's true. That's very true.
They assume every tall.
It's rare
They
that-
assume if you're above 6. They always assume
Yeah.
if you're above 6 feet and you go to certain areas, like you go to Kentucky, they're like, "Are you a new basketball player?" And the second you say no, they get disappointed.
Wilson doesn't
What's
get
wrong with that? They want a basketball player.
That stereotype went over Wilson's head.
Yo, just call me with a short joke.
with a short.
Wow.
A short joke.
Wow.
Yo, he's coming in hot. today.
Below the
I
belt.
was just like, blah, blah.
I'm in rare form today, baby.
Did you hurt your back?
Yeah, like,
I'm in rare
Did you
form
hurt your back reaching down so low to low blow me?
Whoa, boy.
Wow.
Am I short? Wait, what?
I just said wow. Like,
Okay,
he's
okay.
coming in hot.
Well, we had a really great conversation around stereotypes. Let's circle back to Gabrielle Union, right? She got fired for, reportedly got fired for standing up.
Right, and the Screen Actors
Yeah.
Guild, and the Screen
Stand- well,
Actors Guild didn't
against
do
it.
anything. That's the kind of that's the stuff that you stand up for. That's exactly what I was talking about with Kat. That's just it. The Asian, specifically the Korean stereotype that she did not agree with, she stood up for.
Now-
so she lost her check and doesn't have any problems about losing her check for it because she stood up for what she believed in was right. Cap is still collecting checks from Nike, and those people over there are still getting persecuted just because. So if you're going to stand up for injustice, you got to do it everywhere. You
Okay.
can't pick and choose.
Okay, first off, you can pick and choose.
No.
Hold on. Cap's whole entire thing started off with police brutality towards black people.
Right.
Just because he's standing up for that doesn't mean that he has to stand up for people in China. He doesn't have to.
If you're going to stand up for, if you're going to say this is my moral high
That's
ground,
what you
and
think.
I don't want to go keep circling around back to this because we covered this, all of us covered this before, but that man has identity issues. That's what his issue is. That is
Who does,
personal.
Cap?
His mother is Caucasian. His father is black. His father didn't want to be around. His mother didn't want to because she didn't want this little mulatto baby in that little small town wherever they were from. He got adopted by a well-off-to-do Caucasian family. He has identity issues. His brother and sister's hair is not like mine. They don't come from the same place I come from. They don't understand the same trials and tribulations that I have to endure.
But
So
hold on. I got to counter that. I don't know that he has identity issues.
he 100%. That's why he wears the afro. That's why he has the cornrows. This is why
I can make an argument that he found himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was going through something.
I can make an argument that he maybe was lost and now is wearing Kunta Kinte shirts while performing.
Does Cap look like a white man to you?
Yeah.
No,
I don't think he carries himself
You're
at
wearing
all like
you're
that.
wearing a Kunta Kinte t-shirt. Kunta Kinte was stolen from Africa, beat until he said his name was Toby. And here you go begging and pleading to work for the NFL. You standing up for something, don't start me with that bullshit. That's like a video I seen with somebody who was begging this Asian lady to take his money after he was trying to buy some clothes. She's checking the money to see if it's real, and here you are begging to give her some money.
Hold on,
let me get this off. Because if you really want to support your community, take your money back and go buy your homeboy who started his own clothing line. But you begging for a seat at the table.
We got shirts.
A diner is somebody who sits and eats. You begging for a place at the table. I never would have begged for a place at the table. You just sitting there, you're not eating. That's what Malcolm X was trying to tell people. You begging for a seat, but you're not eating. You just sitting there, happy with the crumbs. Just don't sit there, Cap is doing this for me. You doing it for you, dog. You have identity issues. You have
But is it really identity issues, or it's
That's
just
what I'm saying.
the redirected purpose of everything? Now I'm not gonna sit here because I mean at the end of the day we don't know Cap like that.
Yeah.
But do you feel like the whole purpose behind what was originally intended for kneeling, it's sort of changed to the whole concept of bring him into the NFL? Like it kind of I mean from my perspective it moved away from what the original purpose
I don't even know what the
was.
purpose is anymore.
Right? Is it now just to get him back in the league? Like, what's
But I
the
don't even know
purpose
that. I was
now?
having this conversation last night about this. I'm still very perplexed about it because if Cap was really trying to get back into the NFL, he wouldn't be doing all that he's doing right now, right? Like you have that one tryout, you then move it to the high school, and then you have open press there, and in open press you start making these statements of, hey, I wanted the people to see that there was no smoke and mirrors. I've been ready, and yeah, they've been playing games and doing all this. My whole team, like that's not helping his cause to get back into the league. So again, my whole thing still to this day now, number one, I'm really mad that I stopped watching the NFL for 2 years to support this because I don't know where it's ended. Number two, I still don't know where it is present day simply because the message is not clear between bravado and media.
It's about him. That's what I've been saying. It's about him.
But I guess if it is about him, what would the about him be about? I'm just not leaning towards it being identity issues because if nothing else is clear, he's very, very
here goes what is clear. The NFL 100% is prejudiced against the dude because he should be in the league. He's better than some of the quarterbacks that are in there now.
He was 1-11 with his last year.
If I'm keeping it a buck and I'm thinking business, if I'm the NFL, Brandon Hall is the NFL, yeah, I'm weary of him too. He's a liability.
Okay, so you just now said he was 1-11, right?
1-11 his last year.
Is he the only guy on the field?
Wait, hold on. Was he really 1-11?
He was 1-11 his last year, and you took off 3 years. And, I look good in shorts.
Yeah.
These wide receivers I've been practicing with for months.
Ooh, I didn't know he's 1-11.
Yeah, hold on, but is he the only guy on the field?
No.
So why are you saying it like he's
Because
the only person that lost all those games?
the quarterback position, you got to know what the offensive lineman is doing. You got to know what the tight end is doing. You got to, and I'm not saying he can't do that.
Okay.
I'm not saying he
But
can't do it.
you also can have one bad season.
Hold on, but he's
You're
also
allowed to have at least
hold on,
one
hold
bad
on, but he's
season.
also taking his team to the Super Bowl. So what are you saying?
So what happened? You went to two NFC championships and a Super Bowl, right? Then you go 1-11.
So he had a bad season.
Well, that also means he might
Yeah?
have had
What's the problem?
he might have had a trash offensive lineman.
I mean, Eli Manning before he left the Giants.
All I'm saying is the man's been consistent.
Now he's on
His
the
whole
bench.
entire thing is injustice in America.
That's what I said. Now he's on the bench.
His whole entire
Eli
thing.
Manning won 2 Super
On time out. His whole entire
I
thing.
know,
is,
but prior
Can I
to that,
talk?
he had some bad.
Yeah,
he had
my
some
fault,
bad-
my fault.
His whole entire thing has been injustice in America towards black people. He doesn't have to expand that over to China and what's going on over there. Nas wants him to give up his check from Nike because Nike has shops out in China that don't treat the people that great or whatever else.
Now, hold on. If I'm keeping it a buck,
Ain't no black people in them factories, man.
I hear you, but
It's not- that's not his
Did
thing.
Gabrielle Union
it's-
care?
Listen, it's still the same fight. It's still the same
Now-
fight.
okay, so-
just
so-
think about it.
Hold on.
If that is the circumstances,
How's that the same fight?
because it's still injustice.
Doesn't matter.
What the difference is?
Somebody's gonna get oppressed.
Yeah, what
There's-
the difference is with Cap, at least the other piece of this whole thing, at least I'm looking at it from that perspective, he's fighting for injustice. Injustice is like looking at it, at the word with a hashtag, meaning there's a whole movement in back of that, right? There's a whole following in back of that. It's not just going towards white, black, or anything. It's injustice as a whole.
Yeah.
That man
So,
can't
hold on.
change nothing in China.
You don't know that, though. You don't know that.
Wait, but-
We do know that.
But also, if it's not
You're
them, if it's not people who are Asian, if it's not, it will be us. Especially when it comes to injustices or oppression, there's always going to be somebody that's going to get the low hanging fruits or get the problems. So that's the thing; it's a trickling effect.
Overseas, right? There's a guy, Harry Connick Jr., I think is his name. A couple of years ago, this is probably 10 years ago, he was in Australia, and he's hosting this TV show, and they come out, the Australians come out and they do blackface. Right, they do. They do Michael Jackson and Jackson 5. They didn't know that blackface was insensitive in America.
Yeah.
Harry Connick Jr. looks at them and without a hesitation, like, "Yo, I can't applaud that." And the Australian host goes, "Why?" He said, "They're doing blackface, and my countrymen would be offended by that."
Yeah.
So he set a whole new mood in Australia. Fam, you can't come out in blackface and say, "You doing the Jacksons and Michael Jackson," and expect me to applaud you.
And if
So
I'm keeping
you
it-
support that notion?
That you should stand up for people?
No. As far as like the whole entire blackface thing goes, it's offensive, right?
Yeah.
Were you offended by Dave Chappelle doing whiteface on his sketch comedy show?
Well, in Dave Chappelle's case, his friend, the white dude,
Were you offended?
what's his name? Neil wrote all the white jokes.
Were you offended?
He did all the white jokes.
Were
He
you
wrote
offended?
all that.
Were you offended?
What, was I offended?
Yep.
No.
So just like Cap, that's not
yeah,
your people, so you
Chappelle
weren't
didn't write
offended.
that. Chappelle didn't write that.
You didn't stand up for it
Neil
because it's
wrote
not
that.
your people.
Neil wrote
You're
that.
a hypocrite, sir.
Am I?
You're just like Cap.
Wait, but then also it goes back to the fact that like if we don't stand up for others, and then when we have our own problems or we have certain injustices that we need to accomplish, then we ourselves cannot ask for someone else to help us or ask for other people to stand up for us as well.
And that's
or
all I'm saying.
The problem is too, our community at times we don't even stand up for each other.
And that's all I'm saying. When I think of fighting for racism, for LGBTQI
Plus. Just say plus.
whatever community, or even fighting for racial injustices, or what Cap is fighting for, that is all encompassed into one big fight.
Nope,
right?
it's not.
Just listen to what I'm saying. When you think of injustice, you're talking about injustice when talking about police brutality. You're talking about injustice in corporations. You're talking about injustice of what's happening now.
Cap was very specific with police brutality.
No, I
towards
know
black
that.
people.
I know that, but I feel like the meaning of for fight for justice is transcendent.
Yeah,
somehow.
but we're not allowed to choose what he cares about.
Oh no, that's not what I'm saying.
No,
All I'm saying is if he was smart to keep this movement going, I would. If I'm him, I would take on that fight.
Nope, because then he has to take on every single thing in the
That's
world.
the point of a movement.
Nah, he's focused on black people and police brutality. Let him focus. And as far as Gabrielle Union goes, you're telling me out of all the years she's been in the industry, she's never heard a black person crack a joke about another person's race? Because we do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
Did she report them?
Was it at work?
That's what I'm saying. Probably.
But you're also like, come on, everyone. Listen, everyone is a hypocrite. Everyone has moments where they should have done something right and they didn't. It doesn't mean that you can't then after do the right thing.
Yeah, I honestly think that comedians, they thread the line all the time. Like that's for me, doing stand up or doing bits or even just being a comedian, you're often going to say some inappropriate shit. It's in your DNA. No great comedian has ever said something or done bits safely. You can't name me not one of them that have not had some sort of controversy, saying a joke, trying it out, and saying, "Ooh, it went too far." I just think it's a time and place.
I mean, another thing, it's like you went and reported the man. You never heard that one? You never heard that joke before? Like, you couldn't just chalk it up to, that was corny. But that was whack.
But you're sitting here trying to, you just said that we can't sit here and tell Colin Kaepernick what he can and cannot do. You're literally doing that with Gabrielle Union.
Yep.
Allow her to do what she wants to do. If she wants to stand up for it, let her stand up for it.
She can
it doesn't matter. It doesn't, but it doesn't,
she can do
matter.
whatever she wants.
It doesn't matter if she heard it, didn't hear it. The point is, she heard it right then and there, made the decision to stand up, and got fired for it. I'm okay with that.
So let me understand this. So are we gonna sit here? We all believe that's the first time she's ever heard anything racist at a job.
That's not what we're saying.
That she was on?
Listen, it's not about the past. It's about what you're doing now. I'm tired of people always going back to the past. The past. Yeah. What are you doing now? What are you doing presently? Are you standing up for anyone presently? Yes or no?
Yeah, I stand up for black people.
Anyone else? Do you stand up for anyone else? If you see something foul that's happening, or in that period of time, you see something that's bad happening and they're not black, are you still going to stand up for them?
I could feel for them.
You're not going to say something?
Say something about what?
If someone was being racist to Chris, you're not going to say something because he's not black?
Of course, Chris is my man.
But you just said you're going to stand up for black people, but you'll feel for everyone else.
If it's some random dude
if it's Chris,
on the street,
would you stand up for Chris?
Yeah, that's Chris. I know Chris.
No. That's not your stipulation. That's not the stipulation that you place. You said you stand up for black people, and if it's someone else, you have feelings. So then you cannot sit here and say that the only reason you're going to stand up for Chris is because you know him. You should be standing up because what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong.
You can't tell me what to do. I stand up for who I want. I stand up for who I want.
No, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just calling you a hypocrite.
No, I know Chris. I'm in there. Somebody's fucking with Chris. I'm there.
But you just said that if you want to stand up for black people, you're gonna stand up for black people. If it's not Chris, you'll feel for them.
No, when you said stand up, I thought you meant in general. Like if there's like a march going on outside, would I join the march? For a black cause, absolutely. 100%.
I get what you're
if it's
saying.
another cause, I'm like, I'm a little hungry. I'm gonna go get something to eat.
His is very much by a case-by-case basis. He's more driven towards like if it's not
things that affect me.
Yeah, things that affect him as a black person. That's what he's saying.
Lord have mercy.
I'm not that worldly.
Clearly.
But the thing is like what happened with Gabrielle Union was basically a situation that, like, for example, if someone said something racist to Chris,
hey, Chris, check
that's
this out.
really a situation.
We riding, Chris. I'm riding. I've already rode for you. I've taken some bullets.
I'm not mad at Gabrielle Union for getting mad. But what I would say is you had to go report the guy?
Yeah, you know why? Because
like that's a little bit like, yo, you've never heard anything racist.
You know what you can't get mad and then
how many people have you reported?
But you know what?
Now you're telling her what she needs to do.
Yeah.
Bro,
I'm not telling her what to do.
Hold on, let me see.
I'm just saying how I feel about her reporting somebody.
Hold on, Wilson, because her
over a whack joke.
Her train of thought probably is if you say that about them and they're not around, what are you saying about me?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And that's
Why
how
do you
that's how I
care
look
if you're
at
not
it.
around?
it's a job.
As a black person, I always assume people are saying something crazy about me or following me because I'm black or whatever else.
You want to work with people that call you the N-word at your job?
We don't know that he says the N-word.
No, but
That's the entire thing.
If people are courageous enough to frequently make jokes that have racial undertones about someone else, they're more inclined to say racial undertone jokes about black people.
But he made a unoriginal whack joke.
Doesn't matter.
Right? It kind of does.
Kind of doesn't.
It kind of does. Now that's pretty bad in comparison to making a dog joke with it's like, come on, man.
That's still racist.
It's still racist nonetheless.
Racist.
It's still racist.
It's racist, but there's no levels to racism.
Oh
Of
my
course,
God.
It's just
of course, there's levels to racism,
Racist-
but I don't think there's levels. It's more so subtleties. Some of them are very direct, some of them are very indirect, and then some of them are very in your face. I just think that
you consider the Asian dog joke like up there with the N-word and
I put it up there with black people eating liking grape
Fried
soda,
chicken,
fried chicken.
watermelon,
It's up there. It's up there.
grape
It's
soda.
up there. It's up there. It's up
Okay.
there.
I mean,
Same
racism
thing
is
where
racism.
they say Jewish people are stingy or cheap. It's up there. You can put them up there with all of those derogatory remarks. It's up there.
and admittedly, maybe I'm disconnected from because I'm not Asian.
You're not,
you know what I'm saying?
But
Maybe.
that's- So, but my thing is, I just applauded Gabrielle just because, again, I'm for riding. Y'all already know how I get. I'm for riding. Whatever has happened, I'm riding with the team. Like, if you feel offended, hey, we all offended. We all offended. I don't move like that. I've never moved like that. So yeah, if Chris gets offended at something, all right, well let's address it. Like, no,
I'm in there
we're-
too.
Yeah, I know that. But I'm just saying, I just think people are killing her, not realizing that her fight is really bigger than just the statement, the joke. Her fight is really for her people. You know what I'm saying? She wants to make sure her people are okay, and I'm that's admirable.
But couldn't that had just been a, hey man, that's not cool.
It could have
been like, that's not cool, man.
but we don't know how the assistant handled it. Maybe that assistant was having a really, really bad day, and that was the icing that broke the cake, where some racist shit was
And
said.
a
but
mental
she was,
breakdown,
Yeah,
or like-
and now she's
or a
going
mental
through
breakdown.
therapy because maybe
Wait,
she loved Jay Leno
Oh.
and thought Jay Leno was the most amazing person in the universe, and now she's just shattered that and now has to work with him.
It was Gabrielle's assistant was Asian.
I thought so. That's what was said. Well, I don't.
Was there
know.
an Asian in the room when it happened?
I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know any of that. I'm just saying just stipulations. What we don't know what it could have
Yeah.
been. Regardless,
Yeah.
for something. The other thing that's very telling is Gabrielle Union is very, very outspoken, and 9 times out of 10, when she is outspoken, it really has to do with some shit that's really important. You can go on record with her standing up about shit that was happening in the league, standing up for shit that was happening with D Wade, standing up for animal cruelty. Like
D Wade's son.
D Wade's so. For me, I don't ever have to question her integrity on why she did it or said it, because history has shown that she's stood up, at least in my opinion, for some really, really good causes that are important.
Yeah.
So for her to report him, to go to that extent of losing her job and saying, yo, that's fine, I'm not rolling with that, something more had to have happened. It couldn't have been just a tiff walking down a hallway where, you say a racist joke or she overhears it or however it played out, and she didn't just walk by. Something stopped her and said, hey, fam, what did you say?
Yeah.
Oh no, we don't play like that. Something else happened.
Yeah, no. If something else happened, then I can understand it. But if
and
it was
that's
just a
all I'm
bad
saying.
joke and you're like, you're
No,
marching
I
off
don't
to
think she
the
would
HR
just.
department.
Yeah,
She doesn't
she's
seem like the
not
kind of person
sensitive.
who's
Yeah.
just gonna like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm being sensitive right now, so I'm gonna say something.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the day, I feel like, especially if we're gonna go circle it back to just the black community in itself, we have to be able to stand up for other people when we see situations.
Definitely.
And in return, if we don't do that, then we ourselves cannot ask a celebrity or ask someone to speak up for us or to stand up for us. If we're not doing the same when it comes to things that we see right in front of us. If we're ignoring what's happening, and also at the end of the day, like, look what happened when we ignored certain shit, the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain stuff that have happened and atrocities because United States, we have ignored it as collective. And I think that, like, and I only bring that because that's a very, like, that's a big
Yeah, it's a
effect.
big
That's a
thing.
big thing that
Yeah.
happened, right? But even for, like, smaller things, like, I'm a firm believer that, like, if we do not stand up for someone else, then we cannot ask for people to stand up for us.
Yeah.
And we also can't sit here and ask for people in our own community to stand up for us if we're not taking the time to stand up for each other or anyone else.
Well, that's the other thing too. The other thing that people, I feel, we as a community have to change the mindset is we often do look at celebrities to do things just because they have the bigger platform. We put them on this pedestal to say, hey, they'll be more impactful than I will ever do. Like you said it yourself. You said, why would I do that? No one's going to look at me. But even your small platform could lead to something else. So
Yeah.
I'm like I'm saying, I get the bit or the joke or whatever. I get it, and I get that he's a comedian. I just think there's a time and place for everything. I think that was clearly the wrong time for that joke to be made. I also think that it was inappropriate just because it was just inappropriate. Like it's just how the cookie crumbles. You don't know. It's like with I can't think of what comic said that, but it's like you don't know if you've offended someone until after you've already offended them with a joke. At that point, you no matter what happens, it's a dub. There's nothing you could do. Comedians take that risk every day when getting on stage and or performing. I just think there has to be a time where you have to switch it off. It got to be a time.
All right.
That's all I'm saying. And I'm not mad at Gabrielle Union for standing up for it. So, but I guess for the fans and viewership, everyone listening, tell us what you guys think about this last topic, because it's obviously really, really an interesting one. Do you think Gabrielle Union was wrong for, reporting Jay Leno and or losing her job and still fighting this fight? Or do you think, hey, she was just a little too sensitive and maybe she shouldn't have gotten involved in the first place? Let us know what you guys think. Yeah. That's pretty much it. As always, again, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification button and be notified for our latest to the greatest episodes. And please make sure to subscribe to our newsletter for all of the latest and greatest updates towards our shows, merch, and everything else coming. That said, I'm Brandon Killabh.
Wow.
Yeah, you saw. I was like,
I know.
Erin Ashley Simon.
I'm a little off today.
Sorry,
Regular
well,
Nas.
Nas
No,
is definitely
no,
off.
you're- Yeah, we're
not gonna
not
get no other
regular
name.
today.
Yeah, you're not regular today. We need
you're
something
not
that,
ending with no
hold on.
regular-ish.
We're not ending the show until we give him another, let's say Bizarro Nas.
Megatron
I vote,
Nas.
yeah, I vote for something
Tommy
like that.
Pickles, Lord Gargamel.
The Undertaker Nas.
I'm never calling him
Lizard
I
Tommy.
like that
Dicky.
one for today.
The
Listen,
Undertaker Nas. You like
No,
that?
Undertaker.
yeah, I'm never calling him
No,
Donnie
Nas
Pickles.
the Undertaker.
Ew,
There
I'm
you
never
go.
calling him that.
Tommy, they don't know about Tommy Pickles.
Yeah, I'm never calling you that.
Thomas
Tommy
P. Pickles.
Pickles.
Tommy Pickles. I'm never calling him that.
Why are we talking about Rugrats?
That's why I'm never. Listen,
There we go, Kyle.
Nah, not today. He's far from that today. Spicy Nas? I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know how I feel about it. But
Spicy.
I
don't know.
almost want to have a team meeting before we leave. I need to know a new name for him. I feel like he was like Jean Grey. Now he turned into Phoenix.
Call me a little sassy.
Accurate.
A little bit. You're a little fiery.
Sassy Nas.
Little
Sassy
fiery.
Nas. Oh, yeah. Guys, drop in the comment section. What do you think his name should be
what's
for
his
this
name
episode?
should
Drop
be
it
for
in the
this
comment,
episode?
please. And yeah, that's it.
Well, you wanna-
Oh,
I'm Wilson.
I thought he said it during the banter. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm Wilson.
You don't have any fun facts or anything? Nothing?
Oh, well, if you want one, today's episode was a little heated. I know.
Let's end on a good note. What's a good fun fact?
In the Spanish language,
Be careful.
He's messing up.
It's
Be
too,
careful.
So
It's two Spanish women in the room.
Be careful.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, in the
Spanish?
Spanish language, esposa means wife.
Wait, what?
Esposa means wife. The plural for wives is esposas, which also means handcuffs. Grassroots.
Grassroots.